How's it going, guys? So we are bringing back something that we haven't done in a long time.
Yes.
That Eddie invented so long ago, but because we didn't have very many subscribers back then, they really didn't get very many
like
views.
2,000 views.
So we stopped. Car conversations, where we talk about cars in cars.
Yes. And now everybody's going to be like, eh, they're just salamanders. Let's talk about cars, yo. Except we came up with that first, and there's
Look it up. Backdate the videos. And also, you know what?
It doesn't matter. Just more.
There are a million articles that came out talking about
the same exact thing.
Current events.
Yeah.
We're just doing it in video form because, to be honest, people aren't reading articles nearly as much. YouTube is kind of taking over almost mainstream media, TV and stuff, and people are realizing that.
Yep.
So, without further ado, we're going to be talking about the most awesome cars that were revealed and the most interesting. There are some definitely interesting ones at the Los Angeles Auto Show. So, we're going to talk about a bunch of different cars, but first up is the new Mercedes-Maybach S650 Cabriolet.
So is it Maybach or Maybach?
Well, apparently it's actually Maybach, but we're going to say Maybach so that we don't piss everybody off.
Yes.
Basically, it is an S65, slightly more exclusive.
Cabriolet.
Basically, not really more luxurious, but it does come with bags, so you get your own little luggage. No, luggage and purses and stuff with Maybach logos on them.
Yes.
You get a really exclusive, really douchey insignia that says 1 of 300 on it. So you can.
That's the biggest. That's the most important. That's
the most important part.
300.
It does come with the same biturbo V12 that is in the S65 AMG.
So many horsepower.
So 738 pound-feet of torque.
What?
That's ridiculous.
That's a lot.
So over 600 horsepower, 0 to 60 probably around 4 seconds, maybe slightly less. There's some funny articles that came up that nobody cares about that. The interesting thing is it's not really like a Maybach in the sense that you're going to be driven around in. I really doubt too many of these people are going to have drivers in a two-door.
Well, they'll have drivers for their other cars, but they're going to drive this car around themselves.
So this is something, I can picture it now. Older people in their 70s cruising around in nice Southern California.
Yeah.
Maybe their name's Salamandrin, I'm not sure.
Older people?
But it's for cruising around and looking good, basically. You got some exterior chrome bits that are different from the normal S65. Different wheels.
The wood inlay over where the convertible top goes down is sick.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
overall though,
it's crazy the price of it, but then when you think of what its direct competitors are, it's not as insane.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't released official pricing, but considering the S65 AMG starts at $247,000 for the Cabriolet, it's probably going to be a little bit more than that, I would think. Although it was interesting that the Maybach version of the S600 is cheaper than an S65.
Yeah.
So hard to say, but I mean,
a lot less than a Rolls-Royce Dawn.
Exactly. The Dawn is personally my favorite two-door Cabriolet luxury car. But
I like the Volkswagen EOS.
Shut them. But you know, we went and we saw them at dealerships, and they're over $400,000.
Yes.
That is, you know, people say, oh, well, at that level, does it really matter? Yeah, it pretty much always matters. I mean, if you're buying $1 billion boat and you don't even pay with money because you're the Sultan of Brunei, then sure, probably doesn't matter. But $100,000+ difference, that's a big gap.
Can you imagine a BMW 7 Series Rolls-Royce edition?
No, because it's the stupidest thing.
That's what an S-Class Maybach is.
Maybach used to be kind of a standalone brand. Well, it definitely was. And now they've blended it in with Mercedes to heighten their brand reputation, which is fine, but it devalues Maybach.
It wasn't heightened brand, it was to make a car.
Well, it's to make a car that sells, basically. Because the previous generation, it was too expensive, and they didn't sell nearly as many as they thought they were. Basically, they went to wrappers, and not really many other people. I guess some business executives and stuff. I've seen a couple on the road, but really they didn't sell very many at all. So they tried to bring it at a lower price point and mix it in with the Mercedes brand. And in a way, it's a little confusing. The names are so long now that you really don't know what you're getting. And when BMW comes out with the M760 Li Rolls-Royce Black Edition, Music Edition, you're not really going to know what you're getting.
I mean, I guess in summary, it's cool, but I don't
really get the purpose of it. It almost seems like they're just trying to make a little bit more money with a car that already exists. Sure, we've got new wheels, some chrome stuff, but it's an S65 Cabriolet.
Next up, we have a mid-engine 911, technically, because it's actually the RSR car, so the race car, the freaking Le Mans prototype race car with a massive diffuser, a massive wing. But the key thing is Porsche has a habit of using their race car engines in their road cars, and in theory, this 4-liter flat six found in the new RSR is going to be the next gen GT3, which is supposed to have a 6-speed manual, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
But it looks so awesome, and primarily why kind of what drove it was the Ford GT sort of dominated in the last season. So Porsche's like, hey, screw this, we need to make something better. And a rear engine 911 is inherently, from a physics standpoint, it's inherently flawed. You have essentially a massive weight in the back of your chassis swinging you around. Porsche, being genius German engineers, has refined it to the point where it's one of the best handling cars out there, and it's impressive. But they gave in the physics, mid-engine. Some purists are probably going to be very angry that a 911 is mid-engine. This does not mean the new road-going 911 is going to be mid-engine, but
yeah, but I think it might be a hint.
It might be.
I mean, this is me just brainstorming right now. We haven't thought about this at all, but yeah, that gets scary when I brainstorm.
Brainstorming.
But I mean, think about it. One of the biggest things everyone's always talked about is the Cayman has always been limited so that it doesn't surpass its older brother, the 911. Yeah. But in a sense, the Cayman's chassis is better because of its weight distribution. They came out with the GT4, which was incredible, but still, in a sense, they could have made it more powerful than it was. If they make a GT3 RS or maybe next generation GT2 RS that is mid-engine, not saying that's going to happen, but they could really step the game up, I think, with the 911 line. It'll be more angering to enthusiasts than switching from air-cooled to water-cooled.
I don't think they can mess with history. It's just,
but we'll see.
Because like the shape of the 911, the whole design has been dictated by the fact that the engine is back there. The race car, the 4-liter flat six, is with, depending on restrictor plate size, can make up to 510 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, 6-speed sequential paddle shifter gearbox. Obviously, it's fast. It's a race car. I mean, the diffuser looks like it's from a spaceship. It's insane. Cool. But it also has some cool technology that could trickle down to road cars. It has a radar-assisted like detection system, because the fact that when they run these races, there's multiple classes of cars, and the prototype cars are so much faster, they sometimes come out of nowhere. So it's supposed to be some sort of collision avoidance system, and you can kind of, obviously that's going to come for autonomous driving or some sort of safety feature, but a race car has collision avoidance. I think that's what they actually called it.
Pretty cool. So next up, we've got another unique car. Alfa is really trying to expand their brand awareness, reputation, global presence. They've come out with a crossover that's meant to compete with the F-Pace as well as the Macan Turbo. It is called the Stelvio. It's got 3 different trim levels. The top of the line is the Quadrifoglio, which is just like in the Giulia. It has all-wheel drive, torque vectoring, carbon ceramic brakes, and over 500 horsepower. I think the car is really cool. I like the way it looks. The interior is beautiful. You don't like it? You think
exterior? I mean, to me, it really looked like a Giulia on stilts. It's a save fascia lifted, and the proportions are a little bit weird to me. I want to see one in person to make a final judgment, but wasn't in love with the way it looks, but it sounds like a serious performance monster.
It does. The only thing I don't like is that they're claiming it's going to be the fastest crossover, fastest SUV in general around the Nürburgring. And
what is it right now, the Turbo S?
The Cayenne Turbo S ran a 759.74, and they said it can do a 759 flat. We'll see. It's a much lighter vehicle.
Smaller vehicle.
It's much smaller.
It's got some cool tech. That torque vector is a big
It has some great
deal.
technology.
Yeah.
The Cayenne Turbo S is just,
it's a rocket
I don't know. Porsche is a marvel at creating the fastest cars to go around a track, whether it's a freaking SUV, a sedan, or a supercar.
We just said that like
wow, that was really weird.
That was really weird.
That was freaking
all right, but yeah, the new Alfa.
Let's change topics.
What's the next topic? Something else really cool that came out is the Jaguar I-Pace concept. It previews their full electric SUV that is supposed to be due sometime in 2018, and it looks really cool. They were able to design it completely ground up because it's electric, so like the cabin is different because the batteries and motors. You have just different packaging abilities. It sort of looks like the F-Pace, but not. Same design language.
I love the F-Pace. I drove it around the track.
Really cool.
Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and deleted the footage from it off my GoPro. But I will tell you in this brief 5-second review of the F-Pace that I liked it a lot. It drove really well, it sounded great, and it was pretty fast.
Yeah, well, this one's going to be pure electric, 400 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque in the concept.
Easy.
Yeah, so 60 in 4 seconds. Now, again, this is all the concept, 220 miles of range, but it is for sure coming to production. The interior is really cool. We'll see how much carries over.
I can drive a back road with hands-free.
Oh, really? You got Distronic on right now?
See, I thought it was only really for the freeway, but here we go. We're going,
yeah, but
this is going to be dangerous.
Curves. Railroad tracks. Anyways, I-Pace. It looks really cool. Some cool technology, pure electric. We're crossing the double yellow.
Psych.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Nope.
No, we're okay. Next up.
So next up, we have the next generation E63 AMGS 4MATIC. I'm really stoked about this car.
It's a lot of letters and numbers.
It's a lot of, you know what, names are getting longer and longer. I actually thought about the E63 when I got this car, and one of the reasons was it was on its way out. The interior wasn't nearly as nice as this, and
that's why you didn't get it.
That's why I didn't get it. But with the new one, my God, does it make a case for itself.
The interior.
603 horsepower.
And 627 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah, out of a 4-liter bi-turbo V8. And the interior is, once again, in classic Mercedes fashion, exactly like an S-Class.
The outside looks like a little S-Class, and the interior is an S-Class too.
See, I think the outside looks more like an AMG GTR on the front end. It's really muscular.
They redid the hood. That's definitely cool.
I like the way it looks a lot. 0 to 60, 3.3 seconds.
And
auto manufacturers are going for all-wheel drive now, and that means big power can actually get
a 9-speed automatic with that power. The coolest thing is the all-wheel drive has a drift mode. Literally, like the Focus R has drift mode, and in the AMG, it allows you to send all the power to the rear wheels, all of it, so it becomes 100% rear-wheel drive, which means massive drifts with 627 pound-feet of torque. So it's going to be an absolute rocket ship.
I think that is a really good move. Mercedes is all about, and they have been for a while with their AMG cars, basically having a little bit too much power for how much the rear wheels can handle. So
C63.
massive burnouts.
Yes.
Now with all-wheel drive, you get the year-round capability, you get better acceleration times, but if you want to have that fun, you simply click a button, activate a different mode, and boom, you've got what you had before.
It's going to be cool.
That's awesome.
It looks really sick.
All right, so on the list of my favorite cars that came out at the auto show, number 1 is the Lexus Sriracha edition. This car, Eddie goes, dude, they're making a special edition Lexus, the Sriracha edition. And I was like, no, that's not, there's no way.
Yeah.
And so at first it ran through my head like the Call of Duty Black Ops edition Jeep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the hell is gonna buy a Sriracha edition car? Turns off it's a one-off made by West Coast Customs, and it is unbelievable. So the exterior is made to look like a red, the shade of the Sriracha sauce. You've got green exhaust tips, green accents in the front.
The grill has like green around it.
Exterior looks really cool.
Yeah.
The whole thing is supposed to look like, oh wow, that's what?
An accident or a cop?
I don't know. That's
over?
like, who the fuck pulls someone over like that? Are you serious?
Oh, that's getting pulled over.
Yeah, but why would you pull over there?
Block the entire.
So West Coast Customs, Sriracha, Lexus teamed up, built this car that basically is a giant rolling joke. I personally like it.
It says Sriracha IS.
Yeah, it says Sriracha on the back.
Yeah,
the exterior is beautiful. The interior looks like a Chinese takeout box.
It's got these stupid embroidery, like Lexus.
It has the Sriracha rooster on it.
There's a badge
all over it.
And like little Asian symbols are on it too.
And who needs sport mode or sport plus when you can have Sriracha mode? The AC, there's no cool setting. It's varying levels of hotness. The best part is, this would be the car that I would always take out to restaurants because the key fob dispenses Sriracha. Like, are you kidding me?
That's absurd.
That's absurd. Who needs to control the climate and lock and unlock the car and do all these things that the fancy BMW key fob can do when you can fucking dispense Sriracha? And you got 43 bottles in the back for you and all your friends. That's.
Yeah. I wonder how they came to the number of 40. That's how they're going to measure cargo capacity from now on the Lexus.
That's what we should do.
Yeah, it's 43 Sriracha bottles. That's how much you can store. That's
unbelievable.
It's crazy. Next up, one of the most gorgeous cars to come out, the new Aston Martin Vanquish S. Now, it's not a complete refresh. The DB11 is launching. That signifies the newest generation. New platform, new interior electronics, new engine. This is still the old Vanquish of some refreshes. So they've retuned the suspension. The engine makes 12 more horsepower. Big difference. Yeah, it's at 580 right now. You won't care because it sounds so goddamn good and it looks so freaking unbelievably good. Carbon fiber, exposed carbon fiber for the new tweaked front fascia, the new diffuser. It's got quad exhaust tips now. The interior, I think, is...
It is so stunning, and the sound is just out of this world.
It's pretty funny because that was two Ford V6s stuck together, and it sounds so good.
Ford plus Ford equals Vanquish. So. I'm good at
the
algebra.
interior, the center console cascades down of the optional chopped carbon fiber, which kind of looks like forged carbon, which is awesome. It's got the
it looks less dirty than forged carbon.
That's
in my
true. Everybody
bay.
thinks this engine bay is dirty because it's forged carbon.
Yeah,
Forged carbon.
it's
actually vinyl wrap.
Yeah, their glass engine cover is also plexiglass.
That would be for weight savings. The interior, you can get optional bridge of wear leather, which I don't know what that is.
We have no idea what that means, but apparently it's
the
good.
stitching is really cool, like the quilted and on the headliner. Everything about that interior is awesome, except for the fact that it still has the crappy old electronics, flip-up Garmin nav screen type thing. The new DB11 again has the Mercedes, like this car, it's got the command system, so that's going to be a lot better. The Vanquish is just so flawed in a couple ways, like. Yeah, they're faster. Oh no, the new one has the 8-speed Tiptronic. The ZF.
Okay,
so it's great.
That was
now.
a pretty good.
Just swapping to an 8-speed, the new automatic dropped like half a second to the 60 and made it go faster. It does 60 in I think they say 3.5 seconds, and it'll do 201 miles an hour. So that's good performance.
Wow.
But like the electronics kind of sucks, but I'd still want one. It'll depreciate like a rock, though.
That's
what you
the
do
thing.
is you buy
Don't buy one now. Buy one used.
Buy one in a year with 4,000 miles on it. It's half price.
What were the ones we were looking at? Not to buy, obviously, but to review. They were over 300, right? Like 330 or something.
The new one stickers for like 292 for the coupe.
Okay. So when we were gonna test drive a Vanquish, which unfortunately the weather hit and we never ended up doing, I would love to drive one though.
And now it's again, so.
They were over $300,000, and now used ones are popping up with very low mileage for 180.
Yes, 180 gets you one of like 5,000 miles with some good options that looks good.
So that is a good car for 180.
Yeah.
Of course, it's still a ton of money, but when you think about what else is available and how much it did cost, whew, it's a showstopper.
It's a gorgeous GT car. They did retune it to make it a little more sporty. It's got the S badge on it. I think it is one of the best looking cars out there. I'm really excited to see what they do for the next gen. Again, the DB11 kind of went to a different styling setup, but it still looks great.
I still think the Vanquish is the best looking one.
Yes, agreed. I like the way the Vanquish looks more than DB, which is kind of a dilemma because you want the more powerful engine, the newer setup with the newer electronics and a better interior, but I still think the Vanquish looks better than the DB11. Yeah, we were in California we were on Ocean Avenue. They had a DB11 right there, and then a Vanquish, and then actually a 177 pulled up.
Yeah, that was crazy. Well, there you go. There's our summary and our thoughts on the LA Auto Show. I hope you enjoyed this style of video. I think we want to bring it back if you guys enjoy it.
Yes.
It's nice to talk about new car news, keep you guys up to date. There's so much stuff coming up all the time that it's hard to stay on top of it all. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse our channel and subscribe. Check us out on
Instagram.
Definitely follow us on Instagram. We post some awesome stuff there at Vehicle Virgins.
And on Facebook.
Yes. Look forward to seeing you next video.